So the upcoming United States presidential election decides who will run the most powerful nation on earth, the second largest democracy in the world after India, and the country that created some of the most enduring symbols of the free world, Kanye West and Krispy Kreme. The US election process rolls around every 4 years, and it takes an average of 2 years from the time the candidates announce that they are running to one of them being sworn into office. Think about it as the longest job interview ever. In comparison, in the UK, the process of electing our Prime Minister takes about 6 weeks, or like recently, in about 5 days, without anyone actually getting to vote for anyone at all. And whilst us Brits like to conform to our eccentric stereotype with ridiculous parties like the monster raving loony party and UKIP, in the US it's very much a two-horse race. Democrats and Republicans. It's like those two blokes left at the bar and America needs to decide which one she's going to take home. So pick a candidate and tick a box. Easy, right? Well, not really, and here's why. The American president is not elected by popular votes, which, terrifyingly, is something a lot of Americans do not know. And not just the ones in Florida either. Americans everywhere. Yes, you select a candidate, and yes, someone wins the popular vote, but that winner isn't actually guaranteed to become president. It's like a hot dog eating contest. You can be declared the winner, but you're not necessarily a winner. And this is where it gets interesting and also unbelievably complicated and confusing. The American president is actually voted for by something called the Electoral College, which is like college, except no one's drinking, no one's having sex, and... all right, it's nothing like college. You see, when our mates in the States cast their vote for president, they're also voting for an often unnamed elector. And it's these people, these electors, that cast a vote in a separate ballot a month later that ultimately will choose the president. And it's this that makes it technically possible for the president of the United States to not be the candidate who most people voted for. It's happened 4 times in history. Most recently in 2000, when Al Gore got 500,000 more people's votes than our pal George W. Bush over here, but Bush got more electoral votes, so he became the leader of the free world. We all know how well that turned out. Sounds kind of messed up? Well, yes and no. The Electoral College system was designed because the powers that be were worried that it was too big of a decision for the people alone to make. There'll be chaos, they said. Anarchy. People will make the wrong choice. They can't be trusted. Seems a little patronizing, but I have a one-word mantra that helps me see things from their point of view: Brexit. Not so much a mantra as a living nightmare, but you get it. So who are these electors? Well, each state has a number of electors which is equal to the amount of senators and representatives that state has. Every state has 2 elected senators and a number of elected representatives. The more people in a state, the more representatives it has. For example, a state like California, that has a lot of people living in it because hot weather, has 53 representatives, all of which are probably Kardashians. But Alaska, even though it's geographically big, only has 1 representative because not many people live there. Because, well, cold weather and very large bears. Let's look at the state of New York as an example here. They have 27 representatives and 2 senators. So that means they must have 29 electors. On election day, when people vote for the guy in the red hat or the woman in the blue pantsuit, they're actually voting for the electors that have pledged to that party. However, in all but 2 states, the rules of the Electoral College say that the winner takes all. So in New York, if the Democrats win 16 electors and the Republicans win 13, when the Electoral College vote in December, all 29 electors in New York State have to vote Democrat, even the ones that are pledged to the Republicans. You know, it's all or nothing. Like a sex party at Quentin Tarantino sounds. There are a total of 538 electoral votes split among the states, and a candidate must win a magic number of 270 of the votes to be declared the winner. People know which way a lot of the states will vote because they voted the same way for years, but then you hear people talking about swing states. A swing state is basically a fickle mistress. Both parties think they can bank on certain states. Like, Republicans will count on Texas, and similarly, California is likely to vote for the Democrats. Much like a long-term partner who loves you infinitely and after a while you don't have to try, you stay together for the kids, or in Texas, for the guns. So instead, you spend your time courting and complimenting the swing states. Take them for dinner, text them back. Hey, maybe even go to that wine and painting class they won't stop talking about. This year's states playing hard to get include Ohio, Virginia, North Carolina, and that saucy little minx, Pennsylvania. So expect to see Trump and Clinton flicking their hair in their direction. Saying that, after all of this, if the public vote is a landslide, it's obvious how the electoral will vote. And if there's an actual landslide in California on election day, then prepare for President Trump. All of this really only matters if the competition is a close-run thing. And who knows if it will be this year. So that's it. A public vote in November that informs an electoral college vote in December, after which the president and vice president will be officially announced. Let's keep our fingers crossed, because honestly, I don't want to be deported. It's disgusting. Oh. I'm Jame Corden. This is British GQ. Make sure you never miss a thing by clicking the subscribe button below.